All right, y'all. So welcome to session 2 of the Advanced Technical Analysis course, where we will continue going over the basics of the ExoCharts platform, where to find certain features and settings. And we went over pretty much everything here in the last session: the cluster, the text, the candle, all these different options, as well as the chart type and all that kind of thing. Today, we're going to be going over all the settings on the left. This is not right. It's supposed to say more settings on the left, and we're going to be going over basically everything that's right here. And so after this session, you will pretty much know how to navigate all of ExoCharts and turn on and off and modify certain features and customize your template and things of that nature. So we're going to go over these one at a time. We're going to start with the settings, okay? Actually, let's start with profile. Profile, this is not really a setting. This is where you can buy your subscription. If you go to exocharts.com, just look at a chart, you can upgrade it, support and things of that nature. It's like, your account settings, essentially. Then we go to settings. Now, settings is where you can adjust the settings for your chart, such as imbalance percentage, liquidation percentage, value area percentage, etc., things like that. So if we go ahead and click on settings here, we can see that we can just change different types of settings. So this one right here, cluster mode, is the same as coming over here to cluster. It's literally the same thing. And then you can change different settings here. For example, if we put on a delta cluster, then we can go ahead and say, do we want that delta based? Do we want that volume based? There's also different settings here that you can change, and we'll get into all this more later as it pertains to how we're actually going to use this. Chart type, it will tell you the minimum cluster height that you want to show with text. So this is important if you have text on. For example, you have to zoom in pretty far to see the text here, and you'll be able to change the height that the minimum height that the cluster has to be in order to see the text. So you can see right here, at 21 height, we're seeing text, but if we make it to 22 height, we have to zoom in a little bit more to see the text. The lower you make this, it will allow you to see text when you zoom out more, which can be pretty nice if you're using a smaller tick size. Sometimes, especially for me, if I am looking at a order flow chart, a footprint chart with delta clusters, I use a 13-inch MacBook Pro to do all my trading, and a lot of times I will keep Exo and TradingView open side by side. This is very useful because especially if you're looking for imbalances, let's say, for example, this is the chart that I usually use for imbalances here. And so if I go to cluster mode, delta cluster, I can make it so that I can zoom out pretty far and still see the text. I can still see the text, even if I'm zoomed out this far, which will help me see if there's an imbalance. If I'm simply just looking for stacked imbalances, we'll get more into what that is later. Value area, point of control, imbalance. This is basically if you are looking at the value area on your chart, okay? The opacity, this will make the value area more bold than the non-value area. So this is nice, if you're just looking for where the most volume was traded in a given candle. If you're zoomed out, you can see that quite easily. Value area percentage, usually 70 is standard for me. These are different types of things, the direction of the candle and stuff like that. Just different settings that you can mess around with. And rect, this is basically showing you when you turn on the rect on and off, how many contracts need to actually be liquidated in order for there to be a bubble that shows up. Okay, so those are the settings here in setting. Then underneath the color, this is where you can change the color. So you can see that this order flow chart I have here is blue and purple. I'm a huge fan of blue and purple. All my charts are always blue and purple. And so if you go to color, you'll be able to change all the colors of everything here. Okay, all the components, the volume profiles, the delta profiles, the clusters and all that. The points of control, you can change the color here. Look and feel, this is just general chart stuff right over here. And then, of course, we've got the template. This is where you will import the templates that I have shared in this course, as well as save new templates, okay? So basically, if you come over to template, there will be a way for you to load a new template, to import a new template. And essentially the way that you're going to do that is you are going to just come over here, and if you want to import a new template, you just simply click import, and then you can paste the code right into here, and you will have the template ready to go for you. Okay, so there's different templates here that you can load and save as so. And you know, these are different ones that I use and stuff like that. By the way, there are shortcuts that you can do as well. So if you want to have them set up by pushing number 1, then if I push the number 1, I can see the daily profile chart right here. And number 4, for example, is the monthly profile chart. Number 3 is the weekly. You can set up those shortcuts there in template. Then we have the marker. Okay, the marker, and if we go to a template that has more of these markers here, the markers are going to be showing you these price markers on the right hand side of the screen over here. Okay, so let's go to a more basic chart here. And right now there are no markers on. If you click the arrow and you go to marker settings, this is so you can see whether or not you want to have the current price, right? Turn on and off the current Bitcoin price. And then the developing day, this is going to show you key levels for the specific day right here. Okay, so what that means is for this day, if I go ahead and turn on the markers, we can see that for the developing day, it's going to give me the daily point of control, and it can give me the daily value area low, the daily value area high, the daily high, and the daily low. And I can turn all of this on and off. And for each of the developing day, I can choose where I want this label to show. So for example, let's say we only want to look at the daily point of control. I can decide, do I want to see that label on the right-hand side of the ticker, on the left-hand side? Do I want it on the top of the line or below the line? Then we have the one I usually like to keep on most of the time is simply just the daily open. Okay, the daily open is the one that I am most fond of here. And essentially, guys, the previous day, you can do the same thing with the previous day right here. You know, turn on all these previous day levels, and you know, we're gonna have to go down a bit to see those because Bitcoin has been pumping quite a significant amount lately. You can do the same with the developing week and the previous week, and you can turn on the ones that you want. And if you save your template, then these will always be on when you come back to the template, and you can keep them all on so that you can easily see where price is coming up to, or you can just turn them all off by highlighting and unhighlighting the MRK button. Then we have the VA. This turns on and off the value area. So let's quickly refresh here, and when I turn on the value area, you can see it's going to give me the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control of each candle. Okay, the point of control is the green highlighted box here in these candles. And we're going to get more into all this, guys, in later sessions. So I'm just quickly going to go through what everything is, and then we will go into it more in later sessions. This is the point of control, which is the highest volume node traded in each candle. So you can see if I click on and off POC, it's going to give me a point of control for each candle. And if I go ahead here, you can say naked point of controls. This will extend the point of control out to the current place if there is a naked point of control there. Okay, so you see sometimes I use the volume profile chart, which has the naked point of controls extended out if the price has never come back to touch it. You know, if I just turn off naked point of control here, those will go away. The border and fill, this is basically going to border and fill the point of control. So if we go back to the order flow chart and we do border and fill, we can see now that the point of control, is kind of hard to see actually, has a nice little border here. Okay, and then we have CPL. CPL stands for composite volume profile, and with this you can set the developing day or previous week or developing week's value area so that you have those numbers easily on hand. So what I mean by that is we can see right here that regardless of where we are on the chart, okay, sorry, this is the wrong one, CPL is going to be over here on the left-hand side. And if we go to the settings, then we can determine what do we want. Do we want delta profile? Do we want a volume profile? I like to use the delta profile because it just helps. I like those settings better. And if you go to CPL settings, then you can determine what do you actually want to look at. Perhaps you want to look at the previous day levels. So the previous day levels here. And let's see. I have to come down a little bit. Now we can look at the previous day high volume nodes, the previous day value area low, visible very clearly right here, the previous day value area high right up here. We could do the volume profile, which is a little bit easier on the eyes to see clearly the previous day highest volume node right here, as well as the value area low and the value area high. So it's just like for quick reference point on the chart right here. And again, you know, either the previous day or the current day are the two that I like to use the best. The current day is nice as well, where you can just very easily see where is that highest volume node, where is that point of control that that you can be looking for, because you know usually price will find support or resistance at that area. So then after that we have CPR. Now CPR, this is essentially the order book. Okay, it's essentially the order book. This is going to be showing you buys and sells coming in real time. Okay, it's kind of like the depth chart that you would see in Bybit. I don't really use that too much at all. And then we have TPO. This stands for time price opportunity. More to come on this, but there are different TPO settings that you can use here. Like, do you want the point of control to be time, or do you want it to be volume? Different settings and stuff like that. We're going to get into this more in the TPO sessions. But for right now, just know that it's there. And then, of course, we have tree, which I have no idea what tree is. I have no idea what tree does. So I'm not really going to talk about it. So that's it, guys. That's what everything is in ExoCharts. And now we're actually going to get into how to use this data to help you in your trading, because there's a lot of data. I'm going to kind of go over what everything is, and then I'm going to focus on how I personally use this for my own trading, because I don't use everything that is here, but there's a lot of valuable data that has really helped me have better entries when it comes to trading. All right, y'all. See ya in the next session.